Hi everyone, merhaba, this is Ayşenur Altan. In this episode, I want to show you how to make an easy baklava with two versions using only one dough. Very easy to make compared to traditional baklava recipes, and it's gonna be irresistibly delicious. I'm warning you. Let's get started. First, I'm going to make the dough. It has simple ingredients. I'm using 1 egg, half cup of vegetable oil. I used olive oil for it, and 1 cup mixed of milk and water. I'm using all-purpose flour and 1 pack of 2 teaspoons baking powder and pinch of salt. First add close to 4 cups of flour, and then you can add more if needed until you have a smooth, unsticky consistency of a dough. In total it takes about 4.5 cups of flour, but as always I say don't add all of them at once. My dough is ready. I'm gonna turn it to a bowl, cover it and let it rest for at least half an hour. In the meantime, I'm going to sift the wheat and corn starch. You can use both of them. Normally we use wheat starch, but it's okay to use corn. I also added about 2 full of tablespoon flour to help when I use to sprinkle the starch. And let me say that this is not corn flour or wheat flour, of course, but starch. My dough has rested now. I think you can understand how smooth it looks. It is very pliable. First I cut it in 3 pieces, and then each piece I'm going to cut in 16. To do that, I just roll out to a log and then cut it 4, and every piece to 4 again, to have 16 pieces from each piece of dough. And after that I'm gonna just roll it to small balls. You can also get help from the countertop like this, or use your hands. Make sure you cover all of the dough when you are working with the others with a damp cloth, and do the same thing to other 2 pieces. It is really fun to make, and nothing is too hard in this recipe. Don't think that you cannot make it. If I do, and so you can. I finished shaping the balls, and beginning from the first batch, now I'm going to roll out using starch. Lots of starch here in the first moment. Just using roll pin, not oklava, the thin ones we use in traditional Turkish baklava recipes. This is easy version. The thing you have to know is to use at the first time enough starch that you cover the piece of dough, each dough, because after that we will going to roll them all together, and the starch between them will separate each other and make us a nice thin phyllo sheets. And this is the last one from the first batch. I have 16 pieces now here, and I'm going to do the same thing to other 16. It is enough to roll each piece to about 20 to 25 centimeters. And now I'm done with all 3 batches. And I'm going to again begin with the first batch because it is rested. Here is the fun part begins. Normally I use a 40 centimeter in diameter pan like this, but in this recipe I'm going to change it and make 2 different kind of baklava from one dough. So each of my pan is, the first one is like 30 centimeter and the second one is 24. I used stainless steel because of the sizes, but I think it is better if you can find aluminum pan, or also you can use oven safe glass baking tray. Again, if you don't have round pans, you can also make it rectangular. If doing so, you have to roll your doughs to rectangular or square shapes, depends on your pan, rather than round. So I begin to roll the dough, and while I'm rolling, as you can see, I change some of the pieces, turn from the inside out to make it evenly. And if I see that it already soaked the starch between the layers, I add little more to help to separate the layers by sifting a little. It's that easy actually, because we have many layers all together. You don't have to roll out each piece separately. I rolled out my dough as much as I can, and now it's big enough, even bigger than the pan I'm gonna use. I'm just cutting around the pan to make a nice round piece. I'm gonna use this one for top. And the other pieces for the bottom. Let's check the layers. You see how beautifully they are separated with the help of starch, and very thinly. I'm going to place the bottom sheets as neatly as possible now. As you can see, I didn't waste anything and used the leftover strips. Let's say, if you can, it is better to separate them so it gives a layer, the air inside the layers, and makes it more crispy. I just added one layer from the top to make it evenly, and I want to show you how thin it is. You can see the pattern. It is very beautiful. Just add more couple of sheets from the top. And now I'm going to roll out the second batch to use more layers for my baklavas. This time I'm using the small second baking tray to have a nice round for the top and the bottom. And again, as same idea as the first one, I will begin to layer it. It is really fun to make, not very hard, as you can see. I hope you try this and share the photos with me from my Instagram account, Turkish Food Recipes. I really get excited to see them. And here is the third batch. ready. Again I cut around to have nice top layers, and I use the sides for the inside layers. Okay, right now I'm in the middle of the layers. I use half of the dough, and now I can use my fillings. For the small baklava, I wanted to use pistachios, and now I'm going to layer the tops with the neat ones. Try to separate them as much as possible. It is not a must thing to do, but it is better if you can separate them. And I wanted to show you again how thin it is. You can see from the screen. And here is the second bigger one. I used lots of walnut for this. If you want, you can make 2 layers of nuts. And again placing the top layers, and my baklavas are done to cut. Use a sharp knife, of course, as much as possible. For the walnut baklava, I wanted to make a star shape cut. I shared the detailed video about this. You can watch it from the links. It really looks beautifully in round baklava trays. And for the pistachio baklava, I wanted to cut it as a long triangle shape, which we call havuç baklava, and havuç means carrot. Okay, now we are ready to the next step, which is easy. We're gonna butter the sheets so it can cook nicely, evenly, and have a beautiful taste of the butter in the baklava. Don't forget to get the foamy part after you melt your butter. It is important because the foamy parts burns in the oven and doesn't look nice. The butter we use might seem too much, but it is not really, believe me. It needs butter in order to cook in golden brown and make a crunchy baklava for us. For 2 baklavas, I melted about 175 grams of butter, and I will cook them in preheated 170 Celsius degree oven. It takes about 45 to 55 minutes or even 1 hour, depends on your oven. It is important to cook the middle layers as well as top and bottom. Make sure your oven is not too high. If it browns quickly on top, lower the temperature to 160 and continue to cook until it is all the way nicely golden color, about at least 50 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm making the syrup. I used 4.5 cups of sugar and 3.5 cups of water. I boiled them together, and after it is boiled, I continue to boil for 15 minutes on low heat but still bubbling. We need a thick syrup for the baklava in order to keep its crunchiness, so this is also important. As you can see, it is not very hard to make, but has some tricks and tips to make it beautifully and crunchy and tasty as possible. Since I'm baking 2 baklavas together, in the halfway I changed the shelves and continue to cook. First I got out the pistachio baklava because it was smaller, it cooked earlier, and after it is cooled for let's say 5-10 minutes, I poured the cooled syrup over it. Unfortunately, looks like even I couldn't get the foam parts from the butter as clear, so you can see the brown spots. And here is the walnut baklava. I poured the syrup the next day for this one. If you are making it for a special event or eat, you can make it ahead of time and then pour the syrup the day you want to serve, just about 1 to 2 hours before. But I want to taste it right now, just a minute. It looks beautiful. I need to show you the layers. You see how separate they are, very thin. It is just perfect, really. You don't have to wait, you can eat right away. It's lighter right now. I first shared this recipe 5 years ago and many of you tried. Give a comment if you already tried from my channel. This time I wanted to make a change in this easy recipe and turn it to 2 different baklava. And I have many different kind of baklava recipes on my channel, including with ready phyllo dough sheets. You can check them from the links too. We are very close to one of the 2 major holidays in Islamic calendar, Kurban Bayramı, Eid. So I want to say Eid Mubarak to all of you. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in another delicious Turkish food recipes. Afiyet olsun.